Hey trackies, welcome back to another video here on TXT Track Time. Please remember to like the video and also subscribe to the channel. Apologies again, trackies. I know this is not how I typically sound, but we have to talk about what is coming up this weekend, and I'm excited because the NCAA Indoor Track and Field Championships is on, and today we'll be talking about the Jamaicans that I believe have the strongest possibility to end up on the podium. Now, I believe once you're in top 8, you become All-American. Right. However, I do believe that we have a set of athletes that could potentially make it onto the podium. Some of them could actually win as well. And I'm going to get into that today. Now, trackies, that doesn't mean that because I don't mention some other Jamaicans that they don't have the opportunity to be on the podium. Y'all know this is a sport. As long as you are in the field or on the track, you have an opportunity to be a winner. So, with that said, let's kick things off with the women. And I really want to start with the women's 60-meter hurdles because Onika Wilson, coming off her ACC Indoor Championship triple, never before done in history, lines up putting herself in the position to walk away with the win in this women's 60-meter hurdles. I'm absolutely excited for Onika Wilson. Now she goes in with the tied fastest performance this season with a 7.95 seconds clock in. Right. So, with that said, Onika Wilson, as I did indicate, has the strong possibility of walking away with the win. Of course, there will be competition. Given how I've seen her execute her races so far, though, I definitely think that she's up to the task. And if we go by that little, skip over the line as well, it clearly also indicates that Onika Wilson is willing to go the extra mile just to get the win. As I said in my previous video when I talked about her winning the triple, it was definitely giving Grant Holloway when we talk about her skipping over the line. So I was, very excited to see her winning that triple here and seeing her line up at the NCAA championships, putting herself in a favorites position tag is wild, right? Crazy, the last few seasons she's been having to come into 2025 as a favorite in the women's 60-meter hurdles for the NCAA indoor championships is absolutely crazy. I'm sure Onika is living in a dream world, but as things stand right now, she has to make sure that she navigates the first round. And the first round is the semifinal. She comes up in the first semifinal, actually, where she will have a Jamaican participant as well with her, Marissa Simpson. She represents UTEP. Onika Wilson represents Clemson. I do believe that Onika Wilson, once she's still in great shape, should be able to navigate this round and make it through to the finals. Again, as I said, she's a hot favorite, but she has strong competition because there are athletes outside of her that have already clocked a 7.97 and also 7.98. And the 8-second clock ins as well are pretty close. So the athletes are pretty close in terms of the times that they've done so far this season. So all athletes have to be on their A game. You know how the hurdles typically goes. All these athletes turn up and they're ready to go, and Onika will have to turn up and be ready to go in order to make it into the finals. Marisa also has a chance, but it's definitely going to be tough for her 100%. But yeah, trackies, that's the women's 60-meter hurdles. I'm excited. I am excited. On to the next event where I want to talk about the women's 200 meters. Now, trackies, this one is going to be a cracker. And as I said, when it comes to the NCAA Indoor Championships, they begin at the semifinal round. And boy, when I tell you, this semifinal, I really have to be sitting on one and say, is who seed this race? Because coming up in the final heat, which is the Heat 4, we have the two fastest athletes over the indoor 200 meters so far this season. Now, trackies, as I said, I'm actually shocked at this seeding given the performances and the times that I'm seeing in every other race. I believe that they could have definitely separated these two athletes and waited until the finals to have them in the same race, but they go in the same semifinal. Who are these athletes? Well, the Jamaican Nisha Berger, the second fastest indoor athlete so far over the 200 meters for 2025 with her 22.39 seconds. And Jamisha Ford as well, the American that has clocked a 22.34 seconds. So, trackies, when I'm thinking about this race, I'm like, why are they pairing up these athletes immediately from the get go? I know this is going to be a burn up. Given how Jamisha Ford runs, I definitely expect her to go out there and lay down a super fast time. As far as I'm concerned, I just believe that Nisha Berger has to make sure that she stays with her and also make sure that she's cognizant. They're in the final round, as I said, so it's a timed qualifier, which means that the fastest athletes make it to the finals. Be cognizant of the athletes that have performed before and run according to that. No need to do extra, in my opinion, just to make it into the finals if you don't have to. I know, Chakis, I've been watching Jamaica Ford. She is going to lay down a super fast time. Nisha Berger, just be cognizant of, the performances that have already gone and run accordingly. That's my opinion, because I really want to see them both in, and I really want to see them in the best race they possibly can, right? So that is my view when it comes to this women's 200 meters. I definitely think that it's going to be an exciting race. I can't wait to see what happens with Nisha Berger in this race, as well against a Jamisha Ford as well. Interesting that they come up in the same semi, but yeah, it's going to be exciting. Now I want to jump on over to the 400 meters track. Is no, this one is going to be a little tough for Jamaicans to try to get onto the podium. But if there's one athlete that could potentially get onto the podium, it's Dejani Oakley. She comes in with the fifth fastest performance at 50.90 seconds. I believe, though, if Dejani Oakley intends to make it into the finals and also make it into the onto the podium, she has to run her heart out. And the 400 meters, similar to the 200 meters indoors, these girls go ham from the start. So you can't really take any chances. You can't really take any risks. You literally have to go all out from the get-go. So in the semifinals, she's going to have to lay down her super fast times to ensure that she runs fast enough to qualify to the next round. So that's what is important here. So I do believe that Dejani Oakley, though, stands a chance to get on the podium. But as I said, she's going to have to run like her life depends on it. Now, we also do have Shaquina Foot as well that lines up in this women's semifinals as well. It's going to be a little bit tough for her to make it into the finals, but hey, what? She's here. She has a chance. I can't wait to see what she does, and I'm hoping for the best with her. Interesting though, track is Saquina Foot lines up in Heat 4 with Aaliyah Butler. She's the fastest athlete so far over the 400 meters so far this season, a 49.78 seconds. No, I think this is a good thing for Saquina Foot because, again, this is based on times. So if you run fast enough, you can make it into the finals. And who else to drag you along to a super fast time and potentially a personal best than the fastest athlete in the country so far this season, Aaliyah Butler, right? So I think this is going to be a good thing for Saquina Foot. Let's see if she can take advantage of the moment and get herself into the finals. And once you're there, strike for the top, right? So yeah, that's the women's 400 meters. Let's jump on over to the women's 60 meters track. Now, this is where Brianna Lyston comes up. She is the defending champion for this indoor 60-meter title track and shockingly for me at least, she did not win the women's 60-meter SEC title. Now post that video, clearly I got much more information as it relates to what happened. The race was recalled and it didn't pan out the way many people thought it would in that particular race, but she has another opportunity. She has another chance to defend one of her titles, and this is the indoor title. And I do believe that Brianna Lyston still can win this. I still believe she's the absolute favorite trackies, and I believe that as long as she runs within her capabilities, and I think her capabilities are crazy, I think that this will be her race. Now, she comes up in the first semifinal. With her, she has the Jamaican Shanice Walker as well in this race. It's going to be tough for Shanice Walker. Her time so far this season is at 7.20 seconds. One thing, though, that I appreciate with Shanice Walker is that she pretty much runs her best every time she gets onto the track. So I'm expecting her to put out a valiant effort to ensure that she makes it into the next round, and we'll definitely see if she can do that. As well, trackies in the same race as Brianna Lyston is her teammate from LSU, Tima God bless. She is the fastest athlete recorded so far this season in the 60-meter dash with her 7.08 seconds. Now, Brianna Lyston has run a 7.13 seconds so far this season for her fastest time, right? So, with that being said, trackies, it's going to be interesting to see how this race pans out. As I said, in my mind, right? And people may say, oh, T, that's just a figment of your imagination, right? But still, I think that she's a cut above the rest. And I would love to see how she executes these 60 meters, makes it into the finals, hopefully, and of course, goes for defending her crown. She will have Tima God bless giving her a run for her money, but I definitely think Brianna Lyston is up to the task. Now, when you think about maybe her biggest challengers potentially when she gets into the actual finals, clearly Kayla Jackson won the SEC Indoor Championship, so she's there. She could potentially, be an athlete that does something in the finals as well. We have Does Jazz Defrand. She's also an athlete that is there as well from USC that could potentially cause an upset. So, trackies, it's going to be a great 60-meter race, but all in all, I believe if Brianna Lyston could run a 7.03 in 2024 and the Brianna that I'm looking at in 2025, she can't go much faster than that. So I definitely think that she can win this title hands down. Let's see how it goes though. Now track is over to the men and where potentially we can be on the podium. And the first one up, I think, is the 60-meter hurdles for the men. I think this one is going to be absolutely crazy. I think it's going to be close as well, very close. Well, to be fair, I think all these finals are going to be close, right? But the men's 60-meter hurdles, I think, is going to be a wild one. We have quite a few Jamaicans in it. We have Jerome Campbell, we have Jaheim Stern, and we also have Vashawn Vasiana. No, to be fair, what I've seen from Vashawn Vasiana so far this season tells me that he is an absolute favorite in my mind for winning these championships. The problem is that he has an issue executing when it matters most. That at least that's what I've seen so far this season. So I'm hoping that he's able to get it right in the finals or at least in the semifinals before getting to the finals, get it right, execute a good race and make it to the finals and then go for the win. I definitely think he can win this race hands down. I definitely thought he had a 7.4 in him from the SEC Indoor Championships. It didn't happen. He ran a 7.52 in his heat. Track is, unfortunately, as I said, didn't happen. But given what I've seen, I think he can go 7.4 absolutely and go for the win. Apologies, I didn't mention Demario Prince. He's also in the race as well. Track is as a Jamaican, so I'm looking out for Demario Prince. So four Jamaicans, the hard way, for the hard way. Let's see how many of these Jamaicans can get onto the podium. I think they're all awesome athletes. Jaheim Stern as well has been looking awesome this season. Jerome Campbell been looking great. Trackies. So let's see how these athletes perform once they get to the big show. Now, over from that event, we're going to touch on the men's 200 meters where we have Demar Francis in the 200. He's been looking awesome this season, actually, Demar Francis, and this could be his biggest year in the 200 meters, and it's probably his best placing as well. So I'm looking out for Demar Francis in the 200. As I said, these are all timed events, so you have to pretty much go from the start. Make sure that you run fast enough to qualify. He comes up in the first race, so he can't take any chances and take his foot off the pedal and say, oh, maybe these athletes won't run a certain time, and when you check it, by the time they reach the final heat, you're out of it, even though you may have won your heats. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I definitely believe that Demar Francis will have to run from the start, but I think he can make it into the finals and potentially, as I said, have his best showing at this particular NCAA Indoor Track and Field Championships. Now, Chakis, I also want to talk about the men's 60 meters. Now, this one is one of them races the way you can't even call. You don't know who are going to make it to the finals, nor who even are going to win the finals because the times are so close, Trackies. I mean, hundreds of a second separate these athletes in terms of times that they've already clocked. So really and truly just making it into the finals is going to be an achievement for many of these athletes, much less to be on the podium, right? But we do have a Jamaican in it. We have Travis Williams. He's gone 6.55 seconds so far this season. Let's see if he can make it into the finals and also make it onto the podium as well. But as I said, this race is going to be a tight one because the athletes have run 6.50, 6.51, 6.53, 6.55, 6.56. It's crazy. They're all close, right? So it can go either way, Trackies, and may the best man win as far as I'm concerned. All right, so Trackies, that is it for this particular video and my thoughts as it relates to the athletes that I believe could potentially end on the podium representing their colleges, however, being Jamaican at the end of the day. Let me know your thoughts. Which athlete are you keeping your eye on, and which ones do you think can actually make it onto the podium? Like the video, and of course, subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.